I hate that I'm a little out of the groove on these things, but I should be back on track this week. I'll try my best. Um, with travel this week, I kind of missed recording Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday I've managed to skip for 3 weeks in a row. I still have in mind to do a travel related show on Saturdays to have some fun and to boost my travel agency a little bit. But we'll see how that works out. The pandemic had an effect on my travel to New York. I had checked the travel restrictions, and New York apparently has some of the tightest controls in the country, and I'm kind of happy about that because we don't seem to be taking this as seriously as we probably should, especially since we had a record number of new COVID-19 cases yesterday. So to make it to my client in Rochester, I had to complete a form for the New York State Health Department, giving all the details of where I was arriving from and if I'd shown any symptoms in the past 2 weeks, or if I'd been exposed or anyone with symptoms or been in any potentially hazardous activities that could have put me at risk. But unlike Massachusetts, New York doesn't have a waiver where if you have a negative COVID test within the past 72 hours, all that stuff doesn't matter. I decided to be safe anyway, and I got a COVID test taken on Monday before I traveled on Tuesday, just for my peace of mind and my clients. I did that at CVS. CVS has a really easy drive-through testing process, and it was essentially free. So I took care of that Monday, hoping to get the results back before I arrived in New York. I didn't, but I did fill out the New York travel forms, and I got an email back from them with a big green check mark that said I'm good to go. When I arrived in Rochester, the National Guard was there to collect information from everybody arriving. I showed them my green check mark, and they let me on through. But that was kind of neat, seeing that they had activated the National Guard to do that, and seeing all those uniformed folks. That really tells everybody this is pretty serious in New York. Hopefully, they'll keep it contained as well as they can. So I sailed on through, picked up my car at Hertz, drove on to the hotel, didn't have any trouble with the Marriott. At the client, I had a similar statement that I had to sign, plus they took my temperature before they let me in. And our group was met in a large, well-ventilated training room. We only had 9 people, and everybody got to spread out very well, so that was a pretty good experience. Around lunchtime, I got a phone call from the New York State Health Department following up. They told me it was coming. They'd asked how I was feeling. They asked if I had any symptoms at all. They said if my employer had restrictions or quarantine requirements, I should follow their guidance. And I was following my client's guidance, so I thought I was good to go. Later that afternoon, though, I got an email from them, the health department, that was pretty much a form letter. It looked to me like something they send to everybody, that ordered me to quarantine in my hotel room for 14 days. Couldn't even go out for groceries or go out to dinner. There was no hint of this restriction coming in the phone conversation that I had, which clearly indicated I could work following the employer's guidelines. About the same time, my test results arrived, a big negative, yay, across the top, and I forwarded that to the client just so they'd have it in their records. We had a discussion about it, and we decided to proceed with the second day of training. The health department said I was going to get text messages throughout the day asking about symptoms and how I felt, but they sent them to the wrong phone number, so I didn't see them actually until I got home. I am home now, feeling fine, except for not sleeping much because my poor wife is still hurting so bad from her knee surgery. This past week, on this Elevate Your Performance show, I showed you my C4 card, and I explained how to use it. And then on Wednesday, we talked about 4 different types of problems: the alert response problems, measured response problems, an individual idea type problem, and then management response problems. I also showed how the C4 card works for each of those different types of problems. This week, I'm going to bring up the C4 worksheet. I've got a C4 worksheet, and I've got a C4 master file that I give to groups to use to hold everything that they discover on their problem-solving journey. For whatever project, whatever problem they're trying to solve, this is like the place to keep everything. I also want to go a little bit deeper into the types of problems, and I want to get a little bit deeper into different types of gimbal walks, for problem solving, and for understanding systems. And I hope you'll stick around. I would love to hear from you, so please make a comment. Let me know if you'd like me to talk about anything in particular. Let me know if you'd like me to come out to your place and go through these steps with some of your folks. I'd be happy to do that. That's what I do for a living, so yeah, give me a call, make a comment, send me an email. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.